Welcome back to the Winners and Whiners 2023 NFL show. Still unnamed, as if you guys want to comment down below. Let us know what you think we should call it. We'll shout you out if we like your name, and maybe we'll make it official. So I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for coming and checking out this video. Hope you had a great week 6 in the NFL. Pretty crazy. A lot of interesting games. I can say that there's no more undefeated NFL teams. It was definitely very low scoring. So we'll see what shakes out this week. But before we get into these games, I wanted to introduce all of you to my amazing panel of cappers. First, we'll look at Scott Reichel over here. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, doing pretty well. Looking forward to what should be, at least I'm hoping, for a higher scoring slate of NFL games. It was pretty ugly on Sunday, but hopefully we have some good games.
Your Jets look pretty solid there this week, I will say.
It was a low-scoring game, but they scored more points than the other team, so that's all that matters, you know.
Very good, very good. Down in our bottom left of the screen, Chris King, how you doing, sir? Your Bills looked solid. They got the job done.
They look solid.
Well,
they look solid in the two drives they had in the second half.
I think Chris and I feel the same way. The teams didn't look good, but they scored more points than the other team, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they were hungover from coming back from London or what, but they didn't do much in the first half. I think the Damian Harris injury kind of shook some people up, but in the second half they played better, and we watched the Giants play inept football offensively. 0 for 5 in the red zone. Can't complain about that if you're a defensive fan. So we'll take it. But exactly. You could have substituted interesting for last week's games with boring and still gotten home.
Yeah, boring, interesting. Depends on which side you're on. I guess you could.
If you had the under, you were very interested.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
exactly.
true.
And last, but definitely not least, you guys know him, you love him, Scott the Steamroller Steehn. How you doing down there, sir?
I'm doing well, Mason. I'm trying to match your level of enthusiasm, man. You are you're coming out of the box hot, baby. That's and I'll throw my head into the ring of somebody else's whose team played shitty, but scored enough to win because the team they played happened to be even shittier. So. No offense.
I like how the most enthusiastic person was the only member of the panel whose team lost.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, that's because he didn't have to be enthusiastic about them winning.
Yeah.
You have your own draft pick this year?
This year, yes, we do.
That's why you're enthusiastic. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I still got some hope to. Last year was a whole different dark place. That's over. This year it's getting pretty close. I don't know what I'm saying. We're nearing danger areas again as well.
You got the Avalanche and you got the Nuggets. You got some time. You made it to
the one thing I will say about Denver is when I showed my wife the clip of the play where Mahomes scrambled and ran for the first down and the cornerback went and hit Jerick McKinnon 4 yards away.
Yep.
My wife said, "When did we get to play Denver? Because those guys are stupid."
Yeah, that was my exact thought there as well. When I saw that clip, it was there's been a few plays, but hey, like Scott knows, it's been 16 games in a row now. So I guess you could say I'm a little more enthusiastic because I might be used to it by now. That could be a good reason why.
What grade were you in 8 years ago, Mason?
8 years ago, I was a junior in high school.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yep.
So Mason has not seen the Broncos beat the Chiefs. He was a junior in high school.
I'm sure he's played Madden, so he might have seen it more recently. But
true. Yeah. Take out my anger, 300 to 12 after the game. Yeah, exactly.
Nope. But you were going to say you didn't play as Denver on Madden because you were so disappointed.
Well, you can change the settings.
You can custom the roster. You can customize the rosters and do whatever you want.
That's true.
Yeah.
Who was the last good quarterback Denver had? And I'm not talking about no, he was not good.
John Elway.
By the time
wait, what do you mean he wasn't good?
But are you kidding me? Did you see the Super Bowl?
Wait. What was the rest of your question? Because Peyton Manning used to be good on the Broncos.
He was washed, dude.
He set the record for touchdown passes in a season.
He had one good year.
That's the last good quarterback they had, Peyton Manning. There you go. They made the Super Bowl. He set the record for touchdown passes in a season. I can't dismiss his entire Denver career. He was incredible for a year or two.
I will say
a year or two.
Yeah,
not a year or two. A year.
I got to look that up. I feel like it was 2.
Get right on that.
I think for an extended period, you'd have to go back to Elway.
Well, that's a good quarterback.
I don't count
Manning
Cutler.
Set the record for touchdown passes, so he was definitely a good quarterback for at least 1 year.
But I'm talking about an extended period. I didn't say 1 year.
Well, that's kind of what Steehn was harping on. So hang on a second. He was with Denver for 4 years. Last year he was terrible. 9 touchdowns, 17 picks. Year before that, 39 touchdowns, 15 picks. Year before that, 55 touchdowns, 10 picks. Year before that, 37 touchdowns, 11 picks. He was good for 3 out of the 4 years.
He was for 3 out of. Okay, well, we have very
He
different.
just proved it.
He did win MVP one year, and
that was 55. But
yeah,
I mean,
he finished second the year before.
He had 37 touchdown passes north of 4,600 yards in 3 of the 4 years. Yeah, Peyton Manning was really good with Denver. Besides 1 year, he was really good with Denver.
So 37 touchdowns. That's good now. Is that what we're saying? That's
37. That was with 16 games in a season. So yeah, I'll take that. He was around 5,000 yards. Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay. Right.
Well, here's another question for you. Besides
on the Jets quarterbacks.
Yeah, Jets quarterbacks are bad. We had about 5 games of Brett Favre before he got injured.
I think the Bears would have taken Peyton Manning in any of those years.
Oh, the Bears would take him in the shitty years.
Right, that's what I mean.
So, all right, go ahead, Mason.
No, you guys are good. I love it when you guys get into that. But these I'd say the best Broncos quarterback that you guys are forgetting about. Old Jake the Snake Plummer was our secret weapon getting us to the AFC Championship. That was probably the best we had, besides maybe Jay Cutler or Kyle Orton. Which
How old
isn't
when that happened?
Not very old.
Okay, saying because Jake Plummer, I'm trying to think of like
8,
when.
9. I want to say it was
That's
when
got to
the
be what,
Steelers,
like early 2000s.
Yeah, 03 to 06 he played there.
AFC West Championship when they had the bus and they went on to win, or maybe that was the year after. I was again 8 years old, so I don't really remember.
Yeah, he played there from 03 to 06. He started all 16 games twice.
What about 06?
So
either way,
I was gonna say that's the form of achievement, playing every game.
Yeah, exactly. We're just either way. There's no really good quarterbacks besides Peyton Manning. We'll go there. That's where we'll end the discussion there.
Wow.
What? You're not gonna say Elway was a good quarterback?
No, I'm saying.
I think he's saying post Elway. I think he's saying
post Elway.
21st century.
He's on top.
Cutler for like a year. Cutler for a year was tolerable.
Yeah, decent.
Yeah.
But we'll forget about the Broncos for now. I can't talk about the Broncos for that long until I start thinking about now. So we'll move on. Let's.
Forgot about Tebow, by the way. Forgot about Tebow.
No, I did forget about Tebow.
He had a good pass.
They won a playoff game.
That was cool.
Yeah, the pass was cool.
Crossing
after the Broncos.
No,
I can't do it. I can't talk about it anymore. I can't do it. I hate it.
That's fair.
They're starting to bring me down, and I'm staying excited today. That's the goal, remember? But before we dive into Week 7, I just wanted to remind all of you guys, please like, subscribe, hit that bell. Don't forget to check out all of the links down in the description, all of our social media links, and all of our free daily articles on the Whiners and Whiners website, as we're helping everyone cash in every single day. Now, this week, with our first game, we're going to be looking at the Thursday night game between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are currently 3-point favorites. The total is set at 38.5. Scott Reichel, who you liking in this one?
So I'm going to go with Jacksonville. I understand why this line is favoring the Saints is because Trevor Lawrence got injured at the end of last week's game, so we're going to see what his story is. I'm assuming he's going to play. He might not be as mobile, but I think he'll be fine. Why would I want to lay points with the Saints? I don't think Dennis Allen's a good coach. This offense isn't very good. People have kind of criticized Carr for not being worth the money, and we've seen them, once again, lose last week to the Texans. They're just not a very good football team. Defensively, they're fine. So is Jacksonville. So if you want to talk about where I think the advantage lies, I would lean to Jacksonville. I see a lower scoring game, so I am going to lean to the under. But I think Jacksonville getting 3, I don't mind on the money line. I think that Peterson's a better coach than Allen, and I think that a compromise Lawrence is probably still better than Derek Carr. Might be close, but still. I'll take Jacksonville. They're in good form. They've won the last couple games. I'll go with Jacksonville money line.
I like it. Chris, how about yourself?
Yeah, I'm going to have to lean towards Jacksonville. I will notice that on the updated injury report, Lawrence practiced it in a limited fashion today after he didn't practice yesterday. They're still going to be minus probably a couple offensive linemen, Walker Little and Brandon Scherf both didn't practice this week so far. Zay Jones hasn't practiced yet. But the Saints are just awful. I mean, Carr threw for what, 350 or something the other day, and it didn't matter. The Saints, like Scott said, Dennis Allen doesn't know how to coach, and it's tough to have faith in him. I'll take the points just because I don't trust that, that Jacksonville wouldn't turn around and have Peterson say, we're going to play C.J. Beathard to give Lawrence time to heal. So I'll take the points here, but I definitely lean towards the under.
It's not even expecting the Saints to win. It's expecting them to win by margin. Like that, I can't get behind either.
True.
Steamroller?
We can still take a total, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just checking. I just have
I said I like the under. That's the first thing I said.
No idea why anyone would take a side in this game. The Saints are the perfect under team, man. They get good defense, giving up just 15.2 points per game. That's 5th in the NFL. And a bad offense, as everybody has touched on. 22nd points, 19.2 points per game. Currently on an 11-0 under run, and in that stretch, they've given up 30.4 points per game, or that's what's the total from the game, 30.4. Houston.
That's the combined total, right?
Yes, that's exactly right. And the Saints have faced basically just one. Sorry, hang on a second. I wrote my notes wrong. Come on. There we go. Sorry, guys. I had one last point. I was really going to bring this home. And yeah, there you go.
I hate to break it to you, but you're already sitting at home.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. I'll be here all week. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Delay game.
Yeah. This is a New Orleans team that's put up some impressive totals. A couple of games, they put up 34 in New England, but they've struggled to score all year. They put up just 9 against Tampa Bay.
The game still went under though against New England.
Yeah,
they gave up 0 points.
Yep, absolutely true. I don't know where the offense is coming from here, guys. It's gonna be 2 teams that are gonna be running the football. I've got the under 38.5 here. The trend continues.
Yep,
Can the Saints run the football?
They're gonna try.
No, but
but
they're not quitters.
Yeah,
that's true.
No, that's where I agree with you guys. You covered it for me. I like the under 38.5, mostly because I love the Saints defense. I hate their offense, but with Lawrence just being slightly banged up, I think that's going to hurt their offense a little bit as well. And like Chris said, they have a few offensive linemen out, and I just can't back this Saints offense. So I'm sticking the under 38.5 with you guys. With our next game on Sunday, we're going to be looking at the Falcons versus Buccaneers. The Bucs, they're currently 2.5-point favorites, and the total set at 38. Reichel, who are you liking in this one?
I'm going to take Tampa. I know Tampa got buried at home by Detroit, but Detroit's a very good football team, as far as I'm concerned. I think they're borderline a top 5 team in the league at this point, and you're looking at where the Falcons are. Outgained the Commanders by a ton, still lost the game because their quarterback is a really underwhelming quarterback. And it looks like they're going to go back to Ritter. I don't think he's going to last the entire season, but that's the plan for now. Tampa, we know no matter what, they are good against the run, and that's all the Falcons are good at because they can't throw. So I think looking at this matchup, I'm going to go with Tampa. Might not be the prettiest game in the world, but I do trust them at home. Ritter, I believe, is still winless on the road in his career. I don't think he's ever won a road game.
He is not.
Is that right?
It's one of my points, but yes, he has never won a road game.
Yeah, he's never won now he's not undefeated at home anymore. So he's got nothing going for him. But I'll go with the Buccaneers and the under. Atlanta's still a good defensive team, but we know Arthur Smith is going to have to at some point throw because Tampa's going to stack the box, and I will not trust Ritter to win that turnover battle. So give me Tampa winning an ugly game, 20-13, something like that. I'll lean to the under, but I like Tampa most of all at 2.5.
I could see that. King, how about yourself? What do you like here?
Yeah, I'm going to take the under first of all because neither one of these teams are very good at scoring. You look, and the Falcons are averaging a whole 16.5 points a game, 4th worst in the league. Tampa Bay's not a whole lot better. They're 25th. They average 18 points a game. And both teams are above average on defense. If I had to pick a side, I got to agree with Reichel. You got to go with Tampa Bay. You look, the Bucs have only allowed 3 yards and change on the ground this year per carry, 3.7. And almost half the rushing yards they gave up came against the Eagles in that loss on Monday night a couple weeks ago. You have 201 yards on the ground in that game. The other 4 games, they haven't given up more than 70. If Atlanta can't run the ball, we've seen it. They don't move the chains and put points on the board. Why Desmond Ritter threw one of the worst passes I've ever seen in the red zone in a 1-score game last week.
You mean after the delay of game on 3rd and goal at the 1?
Yeah. Is beyond me. Why they let him throw the ball and is defies all logic, and it makes me wonder, is Dave Ragone going to get canned as offensive coordinator? Either way, I'll take Tampa Bay, but I'm definitely going with the under.
Steamroller?
Yeah, I think the under is a good play there, but I'm gonna pick a side in this one. Sadly, this is for first place in the NFC South. Yikes. And yeah, Ritter yet to win a road game in his career. I don't think they picked the first one here. Tampa Bay can't run the ball. That is a problem. They are last in the league in yards per carry. Both these defenses give up 3.7 yards per carry. However, if the Bucs can slow down Robinson like Washington did, gave up just 31 yards on 10 carries for Bijan Robinson, I think they're going to be able to take care of business. With neither team, I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball effectively. It's going to come down to a battle of quarterbacks. Give me anybody over Ritter on the road. So I'll take Baker all day long.
The other thing about it too is, like you said, Robinson was neutralized. But why are they throwing the ball to Jonnu Smith? Did they all of a sudden realize, holy crap, we have another tight end on our roster, and we'll forget about
Jonnu had a
Kyle
good game
Pitts?
in London, so he had that going for him. But I mean, London was good. They had some moments, but that red zone offense is atrocious when you can't trust the quarterback to make decisions in a confined space.
But I mean, Jonnu Smith has more catches than Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, Pitts had a touchdown last week.
Yeah, Pitts did.
So that gives him what, one?
And
Johnny more than I thought he'd have at this point.
Johnny Smith is a fine tight end. Absolutely,
he's a fine tight end 2, whatever.
I think he'd be a good tight end 1 on 40% of the teams.
Okay.
Yeah.
12 to 13 teams. I think that's about right.
I could see that. He was in Tennessee before, right?
And he was briefly in New England, who didn't really do anything there. But
yeah, when he got paid a whole bunch of money to do nothing.
That's the Belichick staple at this point for the offense.
Yeah.
Really that game, no, that's the Falcons Buccaneers one was, I see it as a game of quarterbacks as well. Neither team, I don't like the Buccaneers rushing attack at all, but the Falcons, like you guys said, I don't like their offense either. Ritter, he's going to make another mistake. And I think the Bucs are going to be highly motivated to come back after kind of getting their butt kicked by the Detroit Lions last week. So I see them being motivated. So I'm going to agree with you guys. I'm going to take the Bucs minus 2.5 as well. And with our next pick, we got a real barn burner, you could call it.
Getting better.
Raiders.
I'd rather watch a barn burn than watch this game.
Well, that was the sarcasm in it.
Ranks up there with a few years ago when Jacksonville played Tennessee.
Yeah.
On a Thursday night, my brother said he wouldn't waste free Wi-Fi to watch the game.
Yeah, this is close. This one's close. The Raiders, they're traveling to Chicago to take on the Bears. The Raiders, they're a 3-point favorite, and this total is set at 37.5. I know Jimmy G got banged up a little bit last week, didn't get to finish that game against the Patriots. It'll be interesting to see what happens in this one. I did want to remind all of our viewers that we are recording this video on Tuesday, so any later injury news or big updates, make sure to check yourself and line up before you put in your bets. Reichel, who are you liking in this Raiders versus Bears matchup?
So this might be a battle of backup quarterbacks. Fields is out indefinitely, so he's not going to play. He has a dislocated finger. He's done. As for Garoppolo, I've heard that they got good news regarding the x-rays and everything, but good news compared to missing several weeks. I still don't think he's going to play in this game. So you're looking at what should be Brian Hoyer or Aiden O'Connell against... I'm drawing a blank on the Bears backup quarterback name who played.
Tyson Bagent.
Yeah, Bagent was okay. I mean, he had I gave up a strip sack fumble touchdown, which kind of decided the game there, but he was okay in the fourth quarter. But in reality, Brian Hoyer was actually decent last week. I'm not sure if they're going to use Hoyer or they're going to go back to O'Connell, but I do think regardless, the Raiders do have a quarterback advantage. That tells you how bad the quarterback battle actually is in this game. I'm going to link to the Raiders. At least their defense can do something because Max Crosby's really good. The Bears' defense is bad anyway. They're using a relatively unknown quarterback out of Shepherd College, which I'm not sure which country that's even in, to be honest with you. But to look at this actual matchup, I'll go with the Raiders. They're a bad team, but they're one of the better bad teams out there. The Bears are just awful. And the fact that they had a fluky week or two stretch with Justin Fields, and now he's not available, there's nothing to like about this team. So I'll go with the Raiders to get it done. Another under, backup quarterback battle. But I actually have faith in Brian Hoyer because he kind of showed me something last week against the Patriots. He might not be good, but he's not totally bad. He's the better quarterback, the lesser of two evils in the spot. Give me the Raiders.
King?
Yeah, Ian Rappaport said that, like Scott said, that they got better than expected news, but it's a challenge for him to play this week. I think you'll probably see Hoyer. O'Connell wasn't bad against the Chargers when he played. He just got sacked repeatedly by Khalil Mack to the point where he thought Mack was just wearing the wrong jersey because he was always in the backfield.
He had the red zone interception, which caused McDaniels to kind of roast him in the post game, which was just wrong on his part. But I have a feeling McDaniels is going to lean more towards the veteran after last week. I'm expecting Hoyer to start, if I had to guess.
McDaniels should roast himself after he kicked that field goal against the Steelers because they were down 8.
Twice. Because the first one was overturned for a leverage, and they did it again about 2 minutes later. But
I think this might be one of those games where the first team to score 13 points wins. I'll be taking the under all day long. It'll probably get bet down probably somewhere to like 35. It'll be like an Iowa game by the time we get to kickoff. I can't trust the Bears. Granted, they hung around last week against the Vikings, but that's because the Vikings don't have Justin Jefferson, and Kirk Cousins didn't realize that he had to throw the ball to other people. So they only scored 19 points. If I had to take a side, I'd take the Raiders, but I'm just going to stick with the total and go with the under.
I like that. Steamroller, how about yourself? What are you going with here?
I've got the under here too. This is the Raiders team. Jimmy G or Brian Hoyer, I don't really care. I don't think there's a ton of daylight between the two of them. This is a Raiders team that, to the great disappointment of everybody who drafted Josh Jacobs, can't run the football. 31st in the league in rushing. Bears 5th against the run, so they can stop the ground attack. But it is going to be the battle of the backups here. Tyson Badgett from Shepherd University, by the way, not Shepherd College.
In West Virginia, I think.
That's the Shepherd University Rams in Shepherdstown, West Virginia.
Okay, so it is in America. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it is.
I saw Shepherd College on ESPN. I'm like, I have that. You could tell me that's in somewhere in London. I wouldn't be shocked. Like, I have no idea.
Well,
I thought you were going to say it was a Canadian school.
That could be too. I have no idea.
It's in West Virginia, so it's not quite America, but it's close.
Almost heaven.
It's America adjacent.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful West Virginia, beautiful state,
especially this time of year, right?
Little rural, little rural. So,
but I guess you spent a year there one weekend.
That's the first place I saw a satellite dish and an outhouse on the same house. So that was one of my. I still have.
That blew your mind. That was the moment you knew technology passed all your expectations.
I still have that picture somewhere. It was one of the gigantic satellite dishes too. The 8-foot.
Oh yeah, the ones that would get like 9 zillion channels.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I've got the under here all day. If I had to lean, I'd probably take the points in the Bears. Although, man, Badgett got better. He was awful early. Just deer in headlights.
Vikings kind of played prevent to help him out, but still.
with the full week of practice, we'll see. Are the Bears smarter than everybody else when it comes to quarterbacks? Picking up Tyler Badgett. Well, the Bears' track record with quarterbacks would indicate that's not the case.
Well, they're smarter because right now they're on pace to have the first and the second pick in the draft.
Well, and the good news is they're paying Tyler Badgett about $35 an hour. So that's not a bad deal. But yeah, this is going to be an ugly game. If you like black uniforms, this will be the game for you. That's the best thing I can say about it. I guess the Bears are allegedly like a dark blue.
Yeah,
I swear that looks black to me.
I'll ask you right now: over or under 3.5 cutaways on red zone to this game?
Under.
It'll go over just because you'll get one early when somebody crosses midfield, and
I'm saying over solely for the turnovers.
Oh, for the turn, yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm cheating.
True.
I'm going loophole, babe. But I'm cheating. Turnovers and missed field goals.
Do I think there'll be more than 3.5 red zone trips? I'm not sure about that.
And I'm not sure either. Yeah. This might be a game you might want to bet like the no touchdown. Just have some fun. Root for nothing.
Absolutely. This would be a good game if you're thinking about going to brunch with the family. Good game to do that.
Or if you need a nap.
Also, you want to sleep late, you want to go out and party Saturday night, you don't want to worry about getting up early for those games.
Or if you want to nap after brunch.
Also true. Mason?
Nope. I think you guys got this completely covered. I like I'd say the Raiders money line is what I'd go with. If I put it into a parlay, maybe the only way if I got bold to pick them somehow, but I'll be staying away from this game. If I was going to have to pick, I definitely take the under, as I just don't trust either team, either quarterback, and I think they're both going to try to run the ball, which is just going to waste a lot of clock, and neither team's going to score a lot of points in that one. So that'll be a snooze fest, and hopefully we can forget about it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I think that young Mr. Badgen's going to see a lot of pressure.
Yep.
From the defensive line, like he didn't see when he played Frostburg State.
Hey, don't underestimate Frostburg State. They're a pretty good team down there in
quite a
D2 or 3.
down there in Frostburg.
Frostburg, yeah.
Maryland.
A little bit further.
Yeah, not good.
Than our next one. But the Browns, they're traveling to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. The Browns, they're 2-point favorites, and this total set at 39. Right, Shell, who you like in this one?
So this line looks very trappy because the Browns just beat the 49ers, and the Colts got buried in their last game. And yet they're only laying 2, which I find pretty weird. Who are we assuming is at quarterback here? Walker again? Is Watson alive?
I think
There's a weird situation going on with Watson that not enough people were talking about.
They're talking about Watson might miss several weeks now or something.
He was questionable, and it's like, he got cleared to play, then he didn't play. Then they had the bye, and then they came back after the bye, and he's still out, and now they still don't know what the story. I don't know what's going on with Watson. I don't think Walker's any good, but I think that, once again, they benefited from really bad weather and from the Niners having a bunch of injuries, either on the offensive line, or McCaffrey got hurt, or Deebo Samuel got hurt. They won the game. Their defense is still really good. So the question is, their defense going to travel to a dome? Probably. Is their offense going to do anything? That I don't know. But I think for the sake of this matchup, I think I have to lean to the Colts. This line doesn't make any sense. Like, they're just daring me to take the Browns after beating the Niners, which is one of the most impressive wins of the season, with, in my opinion, a practice squad quarterback. I don't think Walker's any good. So I'm going to lean to Minshew and the Colts in a dome. I'm going to go with the weird line here. Give me the Colts. It feels like they're daring you to take the Browns. I'm going to lean to the over in this game, though. I think that when you're looking at a dome game, so weather's not a factor, I think you're going to see some points. This total's a bit low at around 39. I'll go with the over, but I'll lean to the Colts. I think they'll find a way to win.
Chris King?
I'm just looking here. Stefanski said in his press conference that Watson is day-to-day with a rotator cuff contusion.
He's been day-to-day for 3 weeks.
Well, that's true.
I'm saying with the bye, so I don't know. I'm assuming they're going to go back to Walker because they won, right?
Yeah.
Walker wasn't objectively good. He just did enough to hand the ball off.
He was also helped by some
really bad penalty calls.
Yeah, some terrible calls.
Does this line make any sense? You figure after you beat the Niners, you're probably laying what, like 4.5? Something like that. 2.
Well, I think it's like you said, nobody trusts PJ Walker. I mean, let's face it, PJ Walker was so bad that he got beat out by Tyson Bagent.
That's fair.
For the number 2 job in Chicago. And PJ Walker was terrible in Carolina.
Yeah.
The last time PJ Walker was good was when the XFL shut down for COVID when he was playing for Houston. And that was 3 years ago.
That was a really good team. Really good Renegades team. But, yeah.
But you're looking, Walker, he wasn't great. 18 of 34, 192 yards, 2 picks. Got sacked.
No, Purdy was just worse in the second half. That's why they won the game.
Well, yeah, it didn't help that they didn't have Samuel or McCaffrey. I think it would have been a different
and they
situation.
overturned the fumble that Walker had in the first half, which I thought was clearly a fumble. But
true. The thing with the Colts is, like you said, it's going to be Minshew mania because apparently Richardson's probably done for the year.
It was announced he's done for the year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because before they said he might be.
He was thinking about it. He was leaning real heavily towards.
He was thinking about it.
Yeah, he was leaning real heavily towards having the surgery.
I don't know why he wouldn't. It's his first season. All right, sure.
The Colts, who do they move the ball with in the air? Pittman doesn't stretch the field. And after that, who's it drop down to? Josh Downs, another slot guy. Yeah, he's a slot guy. They don't have anybody that's going to take the top off of a defense.
I never said the Colts were good. I just said the line was weird, so I'm going with the Colts. But I acknowledge the Colts aren't a good team.
Well, no, that's what I'm asking is how they're going to stretch the field because, Minshew, thrives better in chaos and being able to find a broken place. They're not going to get a lot of those against this Cleveland defense. Cleveland's been very good this season. Twice they've given up less than 100 yards passing. Last week they gave up 107 to Purdy. As much as the Colts are at home and in a dome, I'm going to stick with the ugly line, and I'll take Cleveland -2. I don't know which way this game's going to go total-wise, just because Cleveland doesn't give up a lot of points. it could go over because we know Indianapolis can't stop anybody most of the time.
I just can't go all unders. Like, some of these games are going over. I got to find an angle somewhere. I think the Colts game in a dome is probably worth a shot.
Yeah, that's fair. But if I had overall, I'll take Cleveland -2 and hold my nose if Walker plays. I'd rather see Dorian Thompson-Robinson, even though he was not good in his extended audition.
To be fair to him, he found that he was playing 2 hours before the Ravens game, so I'll give DTR a bit of a pass there. But
True.
Steamroller?
I've got the Browns in this one too. This is an Indy team that has been susceptible to the run with teams that have committed to it. Rams ran for 164. Ravens ran for 186. I think the part that nobody's talking about is the Browns just ran for 160 yards against the Niners on the ground, 4.7 yards per carry. I'd love to get involved with Minshew mania, but anybody that throws less than $1.50 in their last game, it's going to be hard to get me too excited about that. This is going to be another game that is going to be an absolute grind here. But I think at the end of the day, the Browns pull out a 15-10 kind of ugly victory.
I think it's obvious to say, even though I'm leaning Colts for the weird line, there's no chance I'm putting any money on this actual game. Just to be clear, for a disclaimer, there's no chance I'm betting on this game.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
I don't think I'll be betting on this either, but I was going to say I'd take the under in this one. I think that the Browns defense is really good. I think they're going to make it really tough for Minshew. And I don't trust this Browns offense. I know they can run the ball, which is interesting, but if the Colts can just get a few stops, I still think this total is going to be way under. I think this is going to be a really grinded out kind of game like Scott was saying, and I don't really like either quarterback, so I'm sticking with the under. With our next game, a little bit more exciting. The Lions, they'll be traveling to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. The Ravens are a 3-point favorite, and this total set at 41.5. Reichel, who are you betting on in this one?
So I'm going to take the Lions here. You can make an argument this is another sketchy line, but I really don't know why the Ravens are favored by 3. They're also flying back from London. Not a good scheduling spot. I think the Ravens are one of the most overrated teams in the league. I don't think they're very good. And I know people are constantly making arguments that they're a sleeper team in the AFC. I don't see it. They've won 4 games this year. They beat the Bengals, who were falling apart early offensively. Beat the Browns with once again DTR, who found out he was going to be quarterback about an hour before the game. Beat Tannehill, who's not any good, and he got injured. Malik Willis came in, and he's one of the worst quarterbacks in the entire league. They're 4-2. Their 2 losses came against Gardner Minshew and Kenny Pickett. Why do I think this team's any good? Like, I don't think they're a good football team. I think that they're better than average, but I don't think that they're like a threat to do anything. The Lions are a top 5 team in the league. They went into Tampa. They buried this team. They're very good up front. Probably a top 3 offensive line in the league. Goff's been really good. I know Montgomery's injured, so we'll see what the ground game's going to be, but Amon-Ra St. Brown came back last week. He had a touchdown. Jameson Williams did something. Props to him. As far as I know, he didn't gamble on the games. That's progress, but he ended up having a touchdown. I like this team. I think Detroit is a sleeper team to win the NFC. I think they're a very talented team. I don't like Baltimore. I don't know how many times I need to see them make games interesting in the second half because they can't close out games with Harbaugh and with Lamar. It's been an issue for years. They lose a lot of close games, and I think Detroit's the better team. Give me Detroit money line in the spot.
Chris King, what are you betting on here?
Yeah, we saw it last year where Baltimore would build up leads and blow them, especially at home. They do it. They did it last year against Miami when they were up 3 touchdowns in the second half. They did it against Buffalo where they were up 20-0 and lost 23-20 because they inevitably make stupid plays down the stretch. All of a sudden in the fourth quarter of some of these games, the Ravens all of a sudden morph into Brandon Staley and the Chargers and decide, oh, well, let's throw the ball on 4th and goal from the 2 and watch it get intercepted and let the other team drive down the field on us.
That was this year, too. The home choke job against Minshew was in Baltimore.
Yep. The weird thing is they've won 3 games on the road. They're 1-1 at home, and their 1 win was over, like Scott said, Houston in a game where Stroud was making his first start.
I actually skipped the Houston game, yeah, but Houston scored 9 points. They didn't even do much in that game.
Detroit, they've looked good. I mean, they just beat up Tampa Bay on the road, and everybody knows it's not fun to play at Raymond James Stadium. They've beaten Green Bay at Lambeau. They beat the Chiefs at Arrowhead. They're not going to be intimidated going into Baltimore against the Ravens. Goff has been good. Sam Laporte has been a great boost for them playing from the tight end role there. giving them an option that they didn't necessarily have before.
When in doubt, just draft Iowa tight ends.
There you
When
go.
in doubt. It usually works out. Am
Well,
I overrating Detroit? Like, I really can imagine them making a serious playoff run in the NFC. I think they're really good.
Oh, the NFC is terrible.
Correct. That too. That helps. But if you
I mean,
told me
they're
this
four-
team
you-
won like 12,
you-
13 games.
Well, you say that, except the two best teams in the NFL
Yeah.
right now are in the NFC.
Well, right, but it's top heavy. After that, it drops off to after those two, after San Francisco, Philadelphia, and Detroit.
At least
does
they
it
have
go?
at least they have a top. Who's the best team in the AFC right now?
Well, record-wise, the AFC's probably better because you got the Chiefs, you got the Dolphins. The Bills have been a bit iffy, but they're always dangerous. We'll see what happens. But the AFC's better than the NFC, at least in terms of depth. We can agree on that.
Coming into the season, you're like, well, there's 4 or 5 teams in the AFC that are better than any team in the NFC. And
Well, you can argue it's mostly quarterback play too, because the best quarterbacks in the NFC are who's the second best? Like Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, like a lot of the great quarterbacks in the AFC.
It's a real quarterback heavy.
That's why a lot of people lean to the AFC because they think that once again the NFC is weak at the quarterback position. But so you think I'm not overreacting? You think because I think Detroit's really, really good.
Detroit's running away with. They're running away with the North right now. I mean, Green Bay's 2-3, Minnesota's 2-4. The Bears.
I think that race is already
nobody
over.
cares.
That's over. Well,
So-
and just like the AFC West will be if the Chiefs beat the Chargers this week too. It'll be just about over as well.
Yep.
This is are you done, Chris?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd take Detroit here just because I don't trust Baltimore, especially at home.
Yeah, I've got Lions as well. I'm with Scott. I'm not gonna take the 3 points. That's the sucker play. I'm gonna play the money line here, for sure. Tennessee bashed this Baltimore rushing defense on the ground last week. 6.8 yards per carry with Derrick Henry there. Titans would have won with a competent quarterback. Unfortunately, they don't have one.
How did Baltimore make the game interesting against Malik Willis in the fourth quarter?
Hey, Baltimore, man. Baltimore.
That's what I'm saying.
Things. And this is I don't know that there's been a bigger turnaround this season anywhere than the Detroit defense. They were absolutely dreadful this year. Very, very solid unit, especially against the run. Second in yards per carry, first in yards per game given up on the ground. What they did last week is they stuffed the run of a Tampa Bay and they tried to make Baker beat him. He couldn't do it. I don't think Lamar's going to be able to do it either. I've got Lions straight up here plus money.
And people give Lamar a pass because the receivers drop a lot of passes and everything, even though the interception he threw was atrocious. If they can't catch the ball either, then why would I still have any faith in Baltimore?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, Lamar's going to make plays. That's great. The receivers can't catch the ball. What am I supposed to do with that information?
No, good point. I'm with you guys on this one as well. I got the Lions money line. I think that they're just a better overall team. My notes say here that their defense is the reason why I'm taking them because they have really impressed me to start this year. I was shocked with them going into Tampa Bay this last week. I bet on the Buccaneers. I thought that they were going to control that game at home, but the Lions continued to shock me like they have this season. So I'm going to stop betting against them and I'm going to take a money line here.
Lions and Chiefs getting it done with defense, buddy.
Yep, exactly. The next one, well, I'd say more defense in this one just because one of these teams physically can't move the ball. But the Bills, they're traveling to New England to take on the Patriots. The Bills are an 8-point favorite. This total set at a whopping 41 points. Reichel, who are you liking this one?
I'm on the Bills. I think the Bills bury this team by about like 17 to 20 points. If they win by 30, it wouldn't shock me. They lost to Dennis Allen by 30 points at home. Now, Josh Allen got a bit banged up in that last game. I know they checked him for a head injury, but it looked like his shoulder's a bit off, which is why he might have been struggling a bit with his actual throwing. But the defense is also injured. Milano's hurt. We saw White get hurt. I get all that, but the Patriots can't beat anybody. This might be, Carolina's, I think, the worst team in the league. I think Chicago with Fields is probably better than the Patriots right now. I think the Patriots might be the second worst team in the league. Like, they're really bad. And during the offseason, I thought they might be a sleeper team to get Caleb Williams, and it turns out I was right. But we'll see what happens. But either way, the Patriots are a lost cause. Mac Jones can't play, at least as a starting quarterback. They have no defense anymore because Gonzalez and Judon got hurt. Those are their best players. You're looking at Bill O'Brien, what he's doing with the offense. Once again, what are you supposed to do? Their best receiver is who? Devontae Parker? Juju's injured.
Yeah.
Kendrick Bourne? They spent all that money on receivers, and none of them are any good. Hunter Henry's a decent tight end. That's basically it. They can't run the ball. They've tried to. They've been better recently, I guess, with Elliott and Stevenson, but they're not good. I got to go with the Bills. You figure after you lose to Jacksonville and then you kind of no-show a home game against another bottom feeder, you have a division rival up next. You got to keep pace with Miami to win the division. I think you got to definitely get back on track here. I think Buffalo buries this team. I think they win this game by, once again, 14, 17 plus. Alt spread, Buffalo minus 13.5. I got to go Buffalo here.
I like it. Chris, how about you?
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those steamroller type of games. Allen's shoulder is fine. They checked him out after the game. He had
according to reports, but based on how he's been performing recently, I still think there's something that he's playing through. But
well, I mean, you talk about that, but after he came back in, after he was checked out, he completed his first 11 passes in the second half. And if Dawson Knox wouldn't have had a cast on his hand, he probably would have caught the last one.
Yeah, some of the decision making though has been a bit questionable, but still.
A lot of that Sunday, I got to give Wink Martindale a lot of credit. The Giants, skies their pressure packages, and if there's a guy who knows what Buffalo's going to do offensively, it's Brian Daboll, because it's his offense. Defensively, yeah, they're missing Milano. They're missing Daquan Jones, who tore a pec in that game in Jacksonville, or against Jacksonville in London. They're missing Trey White, of course. But this is a New England team that, you look at the last few weeks, they haven't scored more than 20 points in any game this season. They haven't broken 17 points since week 1. They looked mediocre against the Raiders. They scored nothing against the Saints, like Scott said. They scored 3 the week before against Dallas. Last week, they deactivated Bailey Zappi and made their only other quarterback Malik Cunningham, who they signed off the practice squad. If you throw Malik Cunningham in against Buffalo, it'll look like when they played Washington in week 3 when Sam Howell got beaten senseless on every other snap.
At least Cunningham can run. You can try to sprinkle in some option stuff or something. It's like they don't even have any juice with this offense. They got nothing.
Yeah, I was just looking at their Juju Smith-Schuster has 14 catches for 86 yards.
Yeah, and he's injured. But even the game last week, the Raiders kind of buried them on the stat sheet. The game really should not have been that close.
No, and they really struggled in the red zone as well.
Yeah.
And New England turns the ball over a lot too. And if you turn the ball over and give up short fields, you're going to get beat on. They've only forced 3 turnovers on defense. Buffalo should win this one, like Scott said, by at least 2 touchdowns, if not more.
Steamroller?
Yeah, this is a New England team that's -8 in turnover margin. Not good at all. They are just so bad, man. They are last in the league in scoring offense by a lot, and they are 25th in scoring defense, which you usually think of those Patriots squads always having a solid defense. That is not the case this year. But good news for us, this is a Patriots team that is still being overvalued by bettors. There's still the Belichick magic that hangs over this team and will inspire bettors to drive that line the wrong way. New England just 1-5 against the number this year. Yeah, Buffalo looked awful against the Giants, but I think this is a good rebound spot for them, like you guys. Don't love laying 8 points with this Bills team right now. Actually, I probably don't love laying 8 points with any team in the AFC.
I also don't love getting 8 with New England.
But yeah,
at least that way you know that they score 8.
That's the thing. And if you look at the total, you go, well, 41.5. Sure, it could be 35-7 Bills. Absolutely, and you're screwed. I got to go with the Bills here. I'm with Scott. If you want to look at alternative numbers, 13.5, you're probably getting 320, something like that. I don't know.
I think it'll be less than that. It'll probably be somewhere in the 2.
Oh, what is it? 8? Oh, yeah, you're right. It's 8.
Probably in the 2 range, maybe high 100s, but yeah, it should get there.
220, 230 probably. Yeah, I forgot it was 8 already. But
besides the extreme win game where Mac Jones completed 1 pass, don't the Bills completely own the Patriots for the last 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, the last few years they've they've beat.
And that's in New England too. They've done very well against.
Yeah, they beat Cam Newton. When he was the quarterback a couple years ago. And the only team that we beat up more than them is Miami, which is always entertaining for me. But it's nice to see New England come back to the form of reality. By the way, just taking a look at the alternate lines, because according to FanDuel, 13.5 is only plus 154.
Oh God.
I was going to say you could probably find better lines elsewhere.
Probably. That's just the first one I pulled up.
You're not going to find 2. You'll probably find maybe a 180 somewhere. I'll take that. Like they should win this
14
game.
14.5 is 186.
If this is not an ultimate like get up spot to bury a division rival, I don't know what is.
Yeah, this would be a harbinger of bad things to come for the Bills if they look like shit in this game.
Yep.
Is there a home field disadvantage too? Because when New England's down immediately, the entire fan base is just booing the entire team.
That's a pretty good point. They could be honestly.
Field. Get back in your car. Yeah.
Let's go to Dunkin' Donuts.
I'd rather be a Dunkin' than watch this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
my boy's wicked smart.
I'd rather be a Dunkin' than watching this one as well. Because I'm going to take the -8. I don't love it. I'm one of those Patriots bettors that still believes Belichick can pull them out of nowhere. But after this last week against the Raiders, I think you're officially off that bandwagon, especially after watching Mac Jones play. I do not believe in him anymore. And this Patriots defense did not look good. The Raiders, they didn't score a bunch of points in this last game, but like we were saying earlier, they were moving the ball pretty efficiently against them. I think the Bills would capitalize in the red zone.
Brian Hoyer, man. Hoyer moved the ball against this team.
Exactly. So I'm going to stick with the Bills -8 there, and I'm going to expect them to win big. And with our last game of this main early slate, another crazy one. We got the Commanders versus the Giants. The Commanders, they're a 2-point favorite. This total's set at 39. Reichel, finish it off for us. What do you like in this game?
So it's a pretty tricky spot because the Commanders did win last week, but every stat says they got outplayed. They also benched Forbes, who didn't play a single snap, which was probably the right move because he was getting torched regularly. And Drake London still went for 100-plus yards, so they still can't really cover receivers. But I'm assuming Tyrod's going to be behind center for the Giants. Do we agree on that?
That's probably going to be the case.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I agree.
I think I'm going to lean to the Giants.
The
line feels a bit off to me. I mean, the Commanders they won a game last week. They got outplayed. They still won. Giants look pretty good defensively against the Bills team that I know is banged up, but it's still a pretty good showing in Buffalo. These games are always low scoring. They're always ugly. I like the under in this game, but I think I'm going to lean to the Giants. I just feel like it's another division game that gets weird. I think Ron Rivera makes a dumb decision on a 4th down late. I'll lean to the Giants. If you take the Commanders, I don't hate it because, once again, I think Hal's a better quarterback than Tyrod. But Tyrod really wasn't that bad against Buffalo in a last second, you're starting. Here you go. Just try not to die out there. He looked okay. And Barkley came back, provided a little bit of stability to the offense. But I'm going to lean to the Giants. My favorite play is the under in this game, though. Give me some type of really ugly, kind of like the Monday night game we just saw with the Cowboys-Chargers, 2017 game.
Chris, how about you?
Yeah, Steen asked if there's a difference between Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor. And, what I can tell you from the game Sunday is the difference is
Tyrod doesn't
what those guys do under pressure, because Daniel Jones looks like a deer in the headlights and gets beaten senseless under pressure. Tyrod, his QBR, I think, was actually pretty much the same whether he was under pressure or not. He has the experience to actually, get the ball out instead of, standing back there and getting killed. Because
with the exception of the clock running out at the end of the first half on the handoff, he didn't really make many mistakes. I mean, he's been known to be a game manager that's very safe with the football, and Washington can protect the quarterback. So turnovers might be the story of this game.
True, and I do have to give credit to Justin Pugh for in the pre-game introductions he said,
off the couch.
Fresh off the couch. He held up well considering he hadn't played in a year and hadn't played a snap at left tackle in like 8 years.
Yeah.
I think the Barkley being back was a big boost for them. He ran for 65 yards in the fourth quarter of that game after being bottled up most of the day. Washington didn't move the ball for beans last week. Like we said, they had 193 yards against the Falcons, gave up 402. The only thing that kept them in the game was turnovers. And with Tyrod in there, you're not going to get a lot of the dumb mistakes that Daniel Jones will give you. Taylor hasn't thrown an interception yet. Jones had 6, not to mention he's been sacked 407 times. I'll take the Giants just because, they played inspired football the other day, and I think with Barkley back, it'll make a big difference for him.
It's a home division game. It gets weird in the NFC East when these teams play.
Steamroller?
Well, I've got bad news for Chris. Looks like Daniel Jones is going to play.
Oh,
going to beat Jones.
I'll take the Commanders.
That he felt fine.
I'll pivot.
I'm going to
not even joking. I'll take the Commanders. I want nothing to do with Daniel Jones.
I'm going a weird direction here. I'm going to play the over, and it's just because of these
prime time over. You madman.
These two defenses are just awful. 28th and 29th when it comes to scoring defense. Giants offense, it is absolutely dreadful. But this Commanders defense, I think they can rise to the occasion. This is a team that gave up 33 to Denver and 40 to the Bears. If I can't count on 20 plus from the Giants, I'm going to go home. So I think it's going to surprise everybody, shock the world, and certainly shock Reichel.
Well, where did you hear Daniel Jones is going to play? Because I see an article here 2 hours ago that says he's uncertain whether he's going to make enough progress to practice this week, let alone play.
Said his neck feels a lot better, and he's trying to be ready to play Week 7 versus Washington. Daryl Slater, the Newark Star Ledger.
Well, the way I'll look at it, if Tyrod's playing, I'll take the Giants. If it's Jones is 0-7 straight up in Monday Night Football. I know, once again, this is a night game or this is an afternoon game? It's a night game, right?
Still a noon game, Scott.
Still noon. Noon.
Oh, my bad. Whoops. Why did I think it was a night game? My bad.
Is this the last
All right,
one?
never mind.
No,
I'm all over the place. It was the last game on the schedule, so I thought it was the night game. Man, my bad. Never mind. I take it back. But I still don't like Daniel Jones. That's my point.
No, I agree.
It comes down to turnover battle for me. I think that if Tyrod is at quarterback, he won't make the play to lose you the game.
Yep.
Jones will make 4 plays to lose you the game. That's the difference.
If Tyrod gets loose and is running down the field, he will not trip for no reason at the 25.
Yeah.
I believe he'll be able to finish the run.
Yeah, CBS Sports also says that the Giants worked out Matt Barkley and Ian Book because they don't know if Jones is going to be back.
To this day, Ian Book is still one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen start a game. So
all you people that didn't live in Kansas City just throwing around shit.
No, Ian Book in that Monday night game against Miami was actually the worst quarterback I've probably ever seen.
I know. That's because you didn't see Chiefs games in the mid-2000s.
I didn't think those mid-2000s Chiefs quarterbacks were worse.
Oh, dude.
That Ian Book game lives rent-free in my head on Monday Night Football. That lives rent-free. It was all-time bad. But anyway, yeah. So I'm waiting to see on the quarterback, but assuming it's Tyrod, I'll go with the Giants.
I like that. And Steen, you said you were on the Commanders, or you're in the over, right?
I'm in the over. Over 39 and a half.
I'm going to finish
shootout.
I'm going to get crazy. I'm going to take the Commanders -2. Really not that crazy. I don't like the Giants, if I'm going to be honest. Don't like Daniel Jones, even if Tyrod is playing. I don't know. Saquon Barkley, he looks decent in the last 15 minutes of that game against Buffalo. I think they're going to struggle against this Commanders defense, which is kind of crazy to say, but they can rise up. And I think Sam Howell is going to be able to score against the Giants defenses. They've continued to struggle as well. So yeah, final pick on that morning slate. I'm going to ride with the Commanders -2, which wraps up our 1 p.m. slate of games. Pretty excited for those. I know all of our experts are as well. Don't forget, head over to the Whiners and Whiners website. Got all of our links down in the description where you can find all of our premium packages. I know we'll have 3 packs, all access passes, and best bets flying off the shelves. So if you're looking for some of those afternoon later games, make sure to head over there and we'll get you covered. And before we go, I wanted to give our amazing panel one last chance to tell all you guys where they can find you. Scott Reichel, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Reichel Radio, doing free picks for the Whiners and Whiners website, bunch of podcasts as well, all on my Twitter. On a separate note, I'm happy that the Giants game is not at night because we actually have a decent Sunday night game. We have the Dolphins against the Eagles, so we actually have a decent game on paper.
Super Bowl preview, baby.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I wouldn't go that far, but still, should be fun.
Go that far either.
I'm definitely looking more forward to the Sunday night game than seeing Kirk Cousins against the Niners on Monday Night Football. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, anyway, find me on Twitter, and I got a bunch of free picks.
Perfect. Chris, where can we find you?
You can find me on Whiners and Whiners, pretty much no matter what the sport is. You can catch me on Saturdays on Just Parlays at 9 a.m. on the channel here. One thing about that, Scott just told me that I don't have to watch the Monday night game because I don't want to watch Kirk Cousins in primetime.
Niners also lost to PJ Walker. That's game's over at halftime.
Might not even make it to halftime before that game's over. Could be over before the first quarter's out. Also, I don't think Miami's a Super Bowl contender. They don't play good enough defense. Mm-hmm. And you look at their wins. Their wins this season have come against teams that have combined what is it, 4-22 record or something like that.
I'm not sure the Eagles are good enough either, but that's a separate conversation.
True.
We all agree it's going to be the Eagles or the Niners.
Should be. I think Detroit's got a shot. Just saying.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be one. Of
I would
those
still
three.
pick the Niners, but I think Detroit's pretty live.
They get healthy. Niners got to get healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's also like 3-4 months down the road. So yes.
Well, yeah, but they got to get there. Well, and there's nobody in the West that's going to overtake them. So
No.
Perfect. Steamroller, where can we find you?
you can find me on Twitter at Steamroller. I'm dropping some things there, and I've got premium picks for sale over at the Whiners and Whiners website as well. Still keeping my hand in with the expert picks, even though I've moved down to the video realm. So yeah, if you want to, if I see an old guy tweet, that's always thrilling. So make sure you stop by and check out my my tweet storms at Whiners and Whiners. Usually just arguing with Reichel.
It's fine.
Usually arguing.
Old guy
I
yells at
tweet
clouds.
like an old man, so that's why it's a good dynamic we got on Twitter.
I'm usually arguing with Reichel or my son on Twitter.
I have tremendous old man yells at clouds energy.
You really
So
do.
that's kind of what I have going for me.
Reichel never answers when I tweet it. He just likes it.
Yeah. Well, because usually you just hit a point and I'm like, I can't really argue with you on that. So yeah, there you go.
Exactly. That's usually what I'm doing. I see you two arguing, and I'm like, all right, well, that comment's funny. I'll give that one a like and just skip through and see what you guys are saying. So it is always good to see. You can find both or all three of them on Twitter. You can also find myself on there at Mason.
I wanted to thank you for retweeting my post that I put up last week about you've lived an interesting life when you can't remember if 8-1 is the proper ratio for biscuit gravy or for making freebase.
Yeah, I was laughing at that one. I'm not gonna lie. I had to give it a quick retweet immediately. That's where all the viewers can go. I will say our new and improved Twitter account is up and running. Head over, give the Whiners and Whiners official account a follow. We're posting all of our daily free picks, all of our free content, TikToks, you name it. All of our Discord links, they're on our Twitter page. So head over there, give us a follow, and get ready to cash in big. Thank you guys so much for coming and watching this NFL Week 7 Whiners and Whiners show. Comment down below. Let me know who you're picking this week. Let me know what we should name this dang show. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so we can come back and catch a few more free picks tomorrow. Thank you again.